Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm going to be working with Sketch 17 from the one-page sketches for 6x6 paper pads class with Allison Davis at Scrapbook Generation. Okay, so to start for today, I just wanted to do a quick explanation of what I chose to use. I opted out of the 6x6 paper pad for this layout and went with some scraps. So simultaneously, I was cleaning up my desk in preparation for getting back to recording some videos, and I knew I had this sketch up next, this sketch 17. And if you have the sketchbook, so this class is no longer available, but you still can purchase this sketchbook. I will link that down below. And if you have the sketchbook, you can look at sketch number 17, and it's got a bunch of strips on it. So I had these leftovers from a workshop kit that I had purchased from Close to My Heart. It's called Stargazer. It's an older collection. It's not available anymore, but I do highly recommend their workshop kits, scrapbooking workshop kits, or if you're a card maker, I'm sure their card making kits are no less fabulous. So I will also link that below. Keeping in mind my Close to My Heart consultant is Canadian, because I'm Canadian, so I'm sure there are plenty of easy to find consultants out there if you're in the States. And here is a representation of what this collection was kind of all about. It's kind of space themed, but I really just looked at it as a little boy collection and made some layouts with it when I was at a one-day crop last weekend, trying to get my mojo back. Kind of lost my mojo as my life changed pretty dramatically over the summer months. And so here I decided, as I had this on my desk to clear off from last weekend and also wanting to do this, I thought I'm just going to use the scraps from this workshop kit in place of a 6x6 paper pad, mostly because I had a whole bunch of these I think Close to My Heart calls them zip strips. They're branding strips off of the papers, and I thought they would go good. And I also had like smaller scraps of paper. I don't have any 12x12 sheets, just like little bits and pieces of this leftover. So I will show you what I came up with. I had kind of prepped my paper before I turned on the camera, so I did cut down those strips, and then I used my Stampin' Up! Border punch to make those chevron bits. I don't know if they still sell this or not. This is a very old punch. So that's what I did to make these little arrow bits. And in the sketch, she cuts kind of pointed arrows here and then tails over here, but I just went with the strips, and I really like how it came out. So I am going to start with my photo here of my grandson and his mama. And I think I'm just going to place that there. I would like to also get a title on, so photos title. So here's the title that I have, and then I also printed out some journaling here. So that's where I'm going to start, and then I'll do a little bit of embellishing while we have a little scrappy chat. So as if you've been following me, you probably know that I haven't been posting videos for a little while, and there's really no good reason for it, just that my life got a little bit crazy. So just like I said back in I think I did a scrappy chat back in July or early August, maybe. Would have had to have been July. My son and his fiance, now his wife, got married. So we did some crazy things this summer. We live in Alberta, which for those of you who are in the States, that's just north of Montana, Idaho area. And my son and his family live in Ontario, which is north of New York State. So we packed up all of our other boys. So we have 2 other children and their girlfriends, and we got on a plane and we went to Ontario. Now, we didn't all make it on the same plane because everybody's work schedules were different. And that's one of the struggles we have with having a 20-something family. So our boys are all young adults, with the exception of the youngest one. He's only 17, but he is living as a young adult now. So he and his girlfriend, so he came with us. Our 17-year-old came with my husband and I on our same flight. And then my next, like our middle child, he flew out a day later. So we had our little family of 4 plus my son's kids and fiance, and we spent a few days just hanging out, mostly in the yard, and things were still pretty restricted back in Ontario, whereas where I live, they pretty much just, you know, opened up the whole world. They had some kind of movement our government decided called Open for Summer, and so we were open. Everything was open. Festivals, markets, you name it, it was open. So going back to Ontario was a little bit of an adjustment for us because nothing was open there. We just mostly hung out at home. We did go to some socially distanced activities, like we went bowling, but nothing too extreme. However, then the girls started to arrive. So the girlfriends came a bit later. We, on our way, picked one of them up from the last one up from the airport, and we finally had all 10 of our family together, and we took a trip to Niagara Falls. Now that might sound a little bit crazy right before a wedding. However, the Niagara Falls trip was planned and booked and paid for before the kids decided they were going to get married. So, because of the state of our economy, of course, there was not a lot of refunds to be found. And we thought, you know what? It's been forever since our family was on vacation together. Let's just do this. So we did. We spent 3 days, I guess, in Niagara Falls and Toronto, exploring and having adventures together. And then we dropped one of the girls off at the airport because she had to get back to work. On our way back to my son's house, and the next day he and his wife got married. And it was just like the wildest, I don't know, it was a lot. It was like fast and fun, and it was just a lot though, like, you know. So, and then the next day after the wedding, all my boys flew back home, and the other girlfriend. So they all went, actually my middle son and his girlfriend went to Toronto for another day before flying back home. They had different flights. So then everybody was gone, and it was just me and my daughter-in-law and my son and my grandchildren, and I got to spend a week just being a grandma, which is pretty much my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And then I flew home, and what did I do when I got home? I felt like things were crazy. I came home, and I think I was home for one day, and me and my high school friends, so I know that sounds crazy because I'm in my 40s, well into my 40s, and I still have very dear friends from high school, and we have kind of a pact that we'll get together once a year. Last year we got together over Zoom. This year we got together in person, and I'm glad we did. I just, those people are very precious to me. So we got to spend some time together. So I was only home for one day, then I went to spend a few days with them. Then I came home, and I was supposed to go to the mountains with another group of friends, but there were forest fires, and the smoke was really bad, so we decided maybe we didn't need to go. So that was a little bit of a reprieve for me, because life did not slow down from there. I ended up, how did that play out? So I was home for a couple of days, and then my husband was officiating a wedding for one of my best friends, and her, like, not her, but her son was getting married. And my husband knew both their son as well as the girl that he was marrying through his employment. And so he had known them both before they met each other, and so they wanted him to officiate. So we did another wedding, and so much fun. Like, such a great time. This wedding was much bigger than the one my son had because we had less restrictions here in Alberta, but it still wasn't huge. So then we did that, and then once that was finished, and in between all of this, I was still working part-time, and so I don't feel like I got much of a, like, you know, vacation, considering I had 2 months off of my regular job. Then we came home from that, and I had a funeral to go to on the Tuesday following, and then I was back at work full-time. So while I was back at work full-time, my youngest and his girlfriend moved out to British Columbia, which is the province over, which for the American peeps, that's right above Washington State. And they live in mountain country, orchard country. It's so beautiful where they're living. So beautiful. And so they left. They came and stopped at my workplace, and I went out and cried and visited them. Maybe not my best decision because I had to go back to work crying. And then they were there for a week, and then my husband and I went out to bring them some things that they had forgotten and bring back some things they didn't need. And we spent the long weekend out in orchard country and did some apple picking and visited some fun places. And then we came home, and things kind of, I guess, like slowed down for us, and I thought, oh, I'll get back to scrapbooking, but I'll tell you why I didn't. 2 reasons. One, my job was not what I had expected. We came back to work, and the kids showed up, and so I'm an educational assistant in a special needs classroom. The kids showed up, and life got absolutely insane. So we, surprisingly, considering how many new hires we had, not only were we training some people, but we were understaffed still. So that was really stressful for us because we were like, oh, we have all these new people, it'll be lovely. But when the kids showed up, the newer kids were way higher needs than we expected them to be. And we got 2 new kids that we weren't expecting at all. And it was just a madhouse. Like, we were running all day. Basically, our goal was to send the children home alive and in one piece, and to please not lose anybody. And preferably fed and in clean clothes. It was just chaos. And so I was tired, and I was still working my part-time job, and I could not wrap my head around being creative. And in the meantime, I was also dealing with like how vastly different my life is. Like, I've always been a mom. I had my oldest child before I left my parents' home. I had never not been a mother, not had somebody needing me every day. So that was super weird. And I don't know, I just couldn't wrap my head around being creative. So I wasn't. And at first I thought about popping on here and apologizing to everyone for that. And then I thought, you know what? I'm pretty sure all scrapbookers understand losing your mojo, right? Like, I think it happens to all of us at some point, even if it's for a short period. I know there was one point where I went 2 full years without scrapbooking. And it was because I just wasn't in a space where I could, like a physical space where that was convenient for me. The place that my family lived just wasn't something that was a priority, and I just didn't do it. And then when we moved, I set up a little space and started again. So I thought, no, you know what? I'm just gonna get back to it when I'm ready. And so I went to, like I said earlier when I was talking about using this collection, I went to a one-day crop with some friends that we plan monthly. And while we're still allowed to do such things, I don't know if everybody else is experiencing this. What are they calling it now? The something wave, fourth wave. Does that sound right to everybody? Anyway, fourth wave. Yay. No, just kidding. So we're experiencing that here, and it's starting to look like they're shutting things down. But while we can, we're still scrapbooking together. I'm going to another crop next weekend. It's a two-day crop. I think I'm staying 3 nights though. So, and I just got an email saying it's a go. I just have to bring proof of vaccination. So will do. And then like my husband and I have just been adjusting to things like cooking for 2, not having a third person to take care of our dog when we both work in the evening after being gone all day. I don't know. It's been weird. I don't know what else to say about it. But we're adjusting. Life's fine. Like, it is what it is. We are figuring stuff out. We definitely, I think one of the weirdest things is the cooking thing. Like, how do you cook for 2 people? We've never done that before. So that's a little bit different, but like I said, we will adjust. And so, yeah, last weekend I kind of, actually, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I was going to cancel because I just wasn't feeling it. I was still overwhelmed at work, and just really wanted to just like have a day where I could do nothing. And but I have a friend that I craft with who has a similar job to mine, and she was having the same feelings, and we decided we were gonna go see each other first and vent a little, because she's my person for that. And then we were gonna go to the crop and just spend a couple of hours there. No pressure, no whatever. So I just brought this like workshops on the go kit from Scrapbook, Close to My Heart. And it was the perfect thing to have because there was like I didn't really have to think much about it. All the layouts were kind of planned for me. The only thing was they were all double page layouts, and I don't do a lot of double page. So I just adjusted them and made single. Sorry, you can't even see what I'm doing because I don't want to get the ink from that onto my paper. You can't really, I just didn't want to make them all double pages, and so I just adjusted them to make singles. So sometimes I made 2 different single pages. Anyways, if you want to see those, they'll be on my Instagram feed, which is also linked below. And this chipboard is not being my friend. So I'm just using this old bits of chipboard to pop things up instead of my foam adhesive. Just trying to be environmentally friendly and frugal with my budget, because my budget has shrunk now that my kids live in 2 different provinces. Thank God for my middle one who decided to stay closer to home. So we have a lot of flying back and forth in our future, and that costs money. So shrinking of the craft budget. Not that that should be a big deal, because I have enough craft stuff really to scrapbook till I die probably, and never run out of paper for sure. Adhesive's another story. So just using what I have is not a bad idea. So for this layout, I did, when I cut out my strips, I did ink them in Black Soot Distress ink. And it's what it used to be my absolute favorite, and now it's like one of my favorites. I would say my absolute favorite right now is the Hickory Smoke Distress ink. So it's kind of lost its place in my favorites category, but I still like it. So that's what I used for this one. I liked that it was a little bit darker than the Hickory Smoke, and because this is kind of a space collection, and it gave it that kind of like night sky kind of feel in my mind. I know that's all matter of perspective, but you know. So then these are the last of the chipboard pieces from that collection, and I'm just trying to get a little bit of each of them. Like, I'm gonna try to do 3 little clusters here. So one's gonna go up here, one's gonna go at the end here, and one's gonna go down towards this corner. So this will be my triangle. And I think this is just gonna go lay flat here for that one. And then I also have a couple of stickers. I don't know if I'll get them on this page or not. I do have a few more scraps left. I'm not sure if I'll make another layout or not, or if I'll pass them on to someone else or throw them out. I do like this Epic sticker, but it doesn't really go with my page. So, and I like this one because it has the tail, just kind of like these chevrons, but I just don't know where to put it that would make sense. So I'm probably not going to use that either. And these were all the stickers and embellishments that it came with, and that's all I have left is those 2 things. So I've made quick work out of this little collection. So then I also have these that I fussy cut out of, where is it? This sheet of paper. And this is what's on the back. Some telescopes. There we go. So I fussy cut a few of these because the sketch had arrows for embellishments, and I could have just punched some arrows out of coordinating cardstock or coordinating paper, but I thought these little rocket ships kind of have the same sort of shape, and so I thought they might be fun to add in here. So let's see. The first arrow is kind of like here-ish. So I'll put that one there. And the second arrow is kind of here. But I feel like that doesn't really go with my plan. So I'm going to stick it here, which is where the third one is. And then for the third one here, I'm just going to see if I can tuck it a little bit and make it part of this. And then we have this little comet bit that I think I'm just going to put at the front of my title. And another planet that I think I'm going to put up here because we have a planet here already. And that's it for my cut apart bits. And then this is all I have left of my enamel dots from this collection. So let's see where I can put those. I think I could probably put one here. One on this one. I think I want to kind of want to move that up, but I think I'm going to have to move this down instead because the wet glue is not going to let me move that arrow. Put one here. go. And that's it for that. And I am done with that package, which is kind of cool. And then I pulled these little wood bits. Sorry for my reach. I pulled these little wood bits from my mini wood veneer box. And I've had a few people ask where I got my tiny wood veneer, and the answer is Facebook Marketplace. I bought 2 or 3, I can't remember now, giant freezer bags of wood veneer from someone, and inside of it had all these itty bitty pieces. And at first when I organized it, it just was inside of like with my other wood veneers. Like I have a box that's just wood veneer. And then I was like, I saw Janet from RTS do this, where she took all the tiny pieces out and put them in a photo case thing. And I was like, that's what I need. That will work much better with my process. And it does. I use them so much more. I think before they were just really getting, oh, see, this is not working. They were just getting lost in the bottom of those boxes, and you don't see them, right? Because they're tiny, so they sink to the bottom of the container. Whereas these ones, because I pulled them out and made it all tiny things, then I can find all the tiny things. You know what I'm saying? So that's working so much better for me. And I find that I use them like not just the ones that I really like because before I would obviously go looking for like my favorite shapes, like stars or hearts or whatever. But like these ones, I would have never looked for these. I'd have probably looked for stars. But when I went looking in there, I was like, oh, these are like little starbursts, I guess, is the way I saw them. I think they could also be looked at as gears or flowers or like whatever you want it to be, right? And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that for this layout. Because I knew I only had those few enamel dots left, and I thought I could use those as parts of my rockets instead of as cluster pieces. There we go. And one more. And this little triangle tray is from Studio Katya. I'll see if I can find it and link it below. I got it from, I think I got it at Crop and Create, and I don't remember which store was selling it. Ladybug Scrapbooking or Scrap Shots. One of the two. Those were the two stores that were there. And let's see. So I have my sketch completed. So this is my layout for sketch 17 from the one-page sketches for 6x6 paper pads class with Allison Davis. And it has the base of the sketch, a 4x4 photo, and then I have 3 embellishment clusters. I have a photo, a title, journaling, and a date. So I feel like I have all the things. So that's it for this layout. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click that like button to give me a thumbs up. Hit the show more button under the video description if you'd like to find links to some of the things we talked about today, and if you have a question or comment, just leave it down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you would like to see more of my videos, it would make my day to have you as a subscriber. Just click that subscribe button and be sure to hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when a new video goes up. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.